Hi everyone, how are you today? I hope you're staying healthy. Let me introduce myself. My name is Nasrawati from English Education Class C. Well, on this occasion, I would like to review a literary work entitled My Son the Fanatic. The first slide is titled My Son the Fanatic. This literary work was first published in 1994. The author was Hanif Qureshi in the period of English literature. The second slide is the author biography. Here I write a brief biography of Hanif Qureshi. That is, Hanif Qureshi was born in Kent, an area south of London, England in 1954. He was born of mixed races and culture, with his mother being English-born and his father coming from an immigrant family of Pakistani descent. His father's family migrated to England to escape the conflict between India and Pakistan. As a child and teenager in the 1950s and 1960s in England, he experienced the difficulty of being a mix of two races with different skin colors and cultures. The mixture made him feel separated from each race in some way. As a teenager, he wrote several novels that were considered for publication. His books were based on his early experience as someone of mixed races and culture and his experience as a teenager in London. We move to slide 3. Here is Hanif Qureshi personal life that Qureshi, who is bisexual, lives in West London. He has twin boys from his relationship with film producer Tracy Scofield and a younger son. Although he acknowledges his father's Pakistani roots, originating in Madras in British India, present-day Chennai, India, he rarely visits Pakistan. Qureshi's family have accused him of exploiting them with thinly discussed references in his work. Qureshi has denied the claims. His sister Yasmin has accused him of selling her family down the line. She wrote in a letter to The Guardian that if her family history had to become public, she will not stand by and let it be fabricated for the entertainment of the public or for Hanif's profit. And then he was appointed commander of the Order of the British Empire (CBE) in the 2008, the year honors for service to literature and drama. In early 2013, Qureshi lost his life savings, intended to cover the ups and downs of being a reader, in a suspected fraud. In October of that year, Qureshi was appointed as a professor in the creative writing department at Kingston University in London, where he was a writer in residence. On 26 December 2022, Qureshi was hospitalized following a fall in Rome, which left him with spinal injuries and unable to move his limbs. According to Qureshi, the fall triggered a near-death experience. The author stated in an interview that he was convinced he was going to die while in hospital. Qureshi stated that his partner, Isabella de Amico, helped keep him calm and saved his life. Major influences on Qureshi writing include P.G. Wodehouse and Philip Roth. His entry in Who's Who lists his recreation as music, cricket, sitting in pubs. The next slide is the other literary works of author. His work are as titled Collected Essays 1986 to 2011, The Nothing, Something to Tell You, The Last War, Gabriel's Gift, Dreaming and Scamming, and then The Body and Other Stories, The Black Album, The Buddha of Suburia, Intimacy, Love in Blue Time, and Love Blessed Head. The next slide, synopsis of the history. Parvez, a first-generation Punjabi Pakistani immigrant to England, noticed that his college student son Ali has begun throwing away his possession and withdrawing from his friends. Throughout the rest of the story, Parvez attempts to convince his son to abandon his extreme beliefs and get back on track with his previous life path, to become an accountant and more generally to assimilate into English culture that Parvez sees as the final indication that he has done well in England, and that immigration was worth all that it cost. It's clear his beliefs are extreme. However, when he tells his father about his desire to aid in bringing the law of Islam to rule the world and his willingness to give up his life for the cause of jihad. Enraged, he physically attacks Ali, although he knows that even this final, desperate act will not bring his son back from the brink of his extremist beliefs. Next are the similarities and differences between Hanif Qureishi' personal life and his literary work entitled My Son the Fanatic. First, there is the similarity that is in my story, My Son the Fanatic was a Pakistani immigrant to England, and so did the Hanif Qureishi family, also of Pakistani descent. But Hanif Qureishi was born in London as a result of migrating from Pakistan to England. And then the differences that are Hanif Qureishi' personal life do not discuss religious matters, while the main plot of My Son the Fanatic story is the immigration of Ali, who has different beliefs and opinions from his father. Then there is character analysis. The first character is Parvez. Parvez is a Pakistani-born, middle-aged man who emigrated to London. He is a father to his son Ali and works long and hard hours as a cab driver to provide money for his family in his son's education. He does not communicate well with his wife and turns to outsiders when trouble arises. He has fully assimilated into Western culture and rejects religion due to humiliating incidents in his past. He has very clear expectation of the path that his son should be taking and wants him to be fully westernized as well. He is a strict father and expects his son to act in a way that represents Parvez's well. He used to have a very strong relationship with his son, but the story begins with the relationship changing due to his son's errant behavior. The second character is Ali. Ali is a young man who has recently found structure and passion in life in the adoption of radical Islam. He has become devout in his beliefs and staunch opposition to his father's Western adoption. He is critical and disrespectful of those he sees as his enemies, which includes the very people he lives without care with. And then there is Bettina. Bettina is a regular customer of Parvez's cab service and works as a prostitute. She is kind, listens to Parvez, and gives him advice, understanding, kind, and attentive. And her fellow taxi driver. The fellow cabbies immigrant cab drivers, concerned, judgmental. And then there is an analysis of the story, that is, the short story My Son the Fanatic is written by the British author Hanif Qureishi. The story deals with a father-son relationship and has anticipated discussion of Islamic fundamentalists recruited in apparently assimilated second-generation immigrants. The short story has two main characters, Parvez the father and Ali the son. Ali is Parvez's son, good-looking and resembling his father. Bettina is a prostitute but also a good friend of her father. Parvez seeks for help about his son, and Bettina is a really good friend for Parvez to talk to. The story is about Parvez, who immigrated from Pakistan to Britain, and his son Ali. At first, Parvez doesn't want to talk about his son with his friends, but after a while, he comes to the conclusion that drugs could be the reason for Ali's behavior. Next, afterwards, Parvez searches the outfits of a good friend called Bettina. She said that Parvez had to observe his son, but in the following days, Parvez noticed that Ali was growing a beard. After a few days, Parvez notices that Ali prays 5 times a day. After the dinner, Parvez tries to convince Ali of British culture, but Ali is still angry due to his father's disrespect towards the Al-Quran. When Ali and Parvez meet Bettina in a taxi, she tries to convince Ali of his father's love her hair. When Ali and Parvez are at home again, Parvez attacks his son while is praying under the influence of alcohol. And then, my son the Fanatic begins in media res and starts the narration at the point when important events have already happened. The story begins when Ali's process of becoming a Muslim fanatic has been going on for some time, but Parvez also has an internal conflict with the way his son is behaving. The climax of this history I'll talk at the end is when Parvez gets drunk and beats his son in rage because of his change in attitude and religious beliefs. The themes in the short text are identity, religion, respect, integration, and father-son relationship. There is a sharp contrast in the way Parvez and his son Ali deal with the sense of belonging and being a part of society. The language is very simple and easy to understand. There are a lot of conversation between Parvez and Ali and Parvez and Bettina. The language is informal and we gather our information directly. And the last is the message from the literary world, My Son the Fanatic, that is the main themes explored in the story My Son the Fanatic by Hanif Qureshi are the conflict between generation, cultural differences, and identity. The writer's message with the story is not explicitly stated. This is a reference source for the literary work that I'm reviewing. Well, that was My Son the Fanatic literary review. Thanks for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.